Hey everyone, Mitchell here, and today I want to talk about Rare's next game. Obviously that's why you're here, unless you didn't read the title. Anyway, so we all know the history of Rare is mixed up nowadays. This isn't Rareware anymore. This is just Rare. Microsoft Game Studios Rare. And nowadays they're more of an afterthought. Rightfully so, as the people who worked there 20 years ago aren't there anymore. Ahem. So yes, nothing but the name and a bunch of unused IPs. Now yes, we can always hope that at some point Rare picks up one of those old IPs and makes a new game, but I've stopped wishing for that years ago. I'm more in the camp of Microsoft letting other companies develop new games with Rare's large catalog. After all, these aren't the same people that made the games we loved as kids, so we might as well get a fresh perspective from a different studio. Now with that being said, you might be wondering why I care about a company that has basically been a shell of its former self for the past 20 years. Well, like I said, it all comes down to that name, Rare. This is the same company that made countless games we loved as kids, and nothing will ever change that. There's just something magical about the thought of something new coming from the studio. Now, granted, we have been disappointed before, countless times, and we can go back and look at Rare's list of games since becoming a part of Microsoft Game Studios. And we can nitpick each one for its flaws and lack of creativity and just plain out not being what anybody wanted, but that isn't what we're doing today. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. So for those that might be too young to remember, back in the year of 2001, Microsoft purchased Rare, which was a second-party studio of Nintendo, most notably remembered for games such as Banjo-Kazooie, the Donkey Kong series, GoldenEye, and Perfect Dark, as well as countless others. A week after the release of Star Fox Adventures, my favorite Star Fox game by the way, it was announced that Rare was ripped away from us Nintendo fans, taken by the greedy hands of Microsoft. And I have to admit, it was a little heartbreaking to find out that the next Banjo game wasn't going to be coming to my GameCube. I really enjoyed the first two, and the third was probably my most anticipated game for the console. But alas, we never got it. And neither did Xbox for that matter. Fast forward 20 years and Microsoft has basically turned Rare into a joke. But recently I got my Game Informer magazine for August, and apparently Microsoft had an event the other week ago or something. Anyway, it talked about new games for the Xbox Series X, and one of those was EverWild, which is being made by, you guessed it, Rare. This is pretty surprising considering how long they were working on Sea of Thieves. I feel like that was first being teased at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, like 2013. That just came out a couple years ago, and they've been slowly pushing out updates. Presumably because they forgot how to finish a game. I don't know too much about it, but it's definitely not something I'm interested in. You know, the whole online multiplayer game stuff. So yeah, definitely surprising to see such a quick turnaround this time with their next game. I kind of thought they were going to just stick with Sea of Thieves for a while and keep pushing updates. However, it seems like they had another game in development. Now granted, it's not Banjo-Kazooie or a new Perfect Dark or something rad-tastic like that, but it is something. The article doesn't really say much beyond unique and unforgettable experiences await in a natural, magical world. But it's apparently an adventure game, so hopefully that means a single-player story narrative type deal. If so, that's really exciting. I definitely don't want to get my hopes up too much. The trailer was very vague about what exactly the gameplay is going to be like, but it definitely seems like a narrative-driven game to me. That of course is just my first impression of it, so who knows. Graphically, I think it looks very clean and nice. Simplistic, yet deep in artistic emotion. It actually kind of reminds me of a high-quality indie game, which is not a bad thing at all. Ultra-surreal realism is almost a fad right now with AAA developers. I can appreciate a company that's trying to evoke more emotion through graphical style rather than just trying to make it look more realistic. Now, there wasn't a release date given, but it was interesting that it says it'll be coming to the Xbox One as well. Maybe this game is coming in the next 2 years? I believe Microsoft has mentioned in the past that they will be supporting the Xbox One with their first-party titles for the next couple years after the Series X releases, which would be a good thing for me since I'm not planning on upgrading to a Series X for a while, so if I can get this game on my Xbox One, I would definitely do that. Not a lot to go off of so far in this first trailer, but it does look really good. It seems like it could definitely have an interesting premise, so yeah, if it comes out in the next couple years, I'll definitely be interested. But I want to see more. Specifically, some gameplay. Not going to get my hopes up and get all hyped for something I don't know a lot about, but we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you think down in the comments about this new game from Rare. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed listening to me talk about some random video game. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.